We are led by Micheál Martin, our Taoiseach, a man who wants nothing to do with the backwards idea of sovereignty, and I suspect would have us kneel before Europe before ever allowing us to decide our own destiny as a country. An Taoiseach Leo Varadkar is celebrated by the executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, as being one of his young global leaders. Varadkar was instrumental in removing the right to life from the Constitution and indeed putting matters of sexuality or identity politics at the forefront of today's political agenda. He also happened to be the Taoiseach when the Health Preservation Act 2020 came to pass, ruining lives and livelihoods. Varadkar has also recently been granted what I regard as immunity by a corrupt DPP who investigated him for leaking classified documents to his friends. Eamon Ryan, Minister for the Environment, Climate and Communications and Minister for Transport, has encouraged policies so insane that many of his political opponents question his competence on a weekly basis. His blind pursuit of a cleaner planet will see you cold, without electricity and fuel for your car. Minister for Justice Helen McEntee is hell-bent on introducing hate crime legislation, which will erase the true meaning of justice and equality in pursuit of a system that will treat the victims of crime with more or less privilege depending on their race, gender, sex, sexual orientation, ability and so forth, instead of treating each individual victim as equal before the law. The Marxist lens through which these laws have been created will also serve to crush freedom of speech and the right to dissent, and anything deemed hateful by those in power is to be criminal. This legislation, in my opinion, represents treason, and I believe the politicians who vote to carry it through should receive the ultimate punishment for doing so. With just these 4 key members of government and the policies they have introduced or are pushing to have introduced, we have a country with no sovereignty, a country that murders its unborn, a country that places value in the politics of identity, a country that will sacrifice your well-being to bring down pollution, and a country that will punish you if you dare speak out against any of it. And I haven't even spoken about Roderick O'Gorman spending €900,000 of taxpayers' money to fund a service for his own special interest group, or Pascal O'Donoghue supporting men in dresses reading stories to children. I haven't spoken about Regina Doherty and her seemingly devout belief that there are at least 9 genders, or Fintan Warfield referring to women as pregnant people. I haven't spoken about Mary Lou MacDonald and her vision of a multicultural Ireland living in her new and improved version of socialism, or Richard Boyd Barrett, who wants to forcefully acquire private property. I haven't spoken about the Minister for Housing, Darragh O'Brien, who announced so arrogantly that there will be no cap on the amount of refugees Ireland will take in, or Ivana Bacik, who wants to create protest exclusion zones to criminalise dissent. I could go on forever. I suppose my question is this: what do you as a voter seek to gain by putting into power people who view your hard-earned wealth, your property and your individual liberty as completely expendable?